Welcome to another episode, and today I have Mr. Asif Hitawala who's joined me. He's a co-founder and a principal architect of ArchiStruc Inc., a firm known for its innovative approach and also a one-stop solution for your structural, design and interior needs, which ensure a seamless experience from concept to completion. With a focus on versatility, sustainability and client satisfaction, Asif has quickly established himself as a dynamic leader in the architectural industry.
This episode is brought to you by Treasure by Palkasa, Rajasthan's first ever biggest imported furniture showroom in Udaipur. One-stop solution for your home furniture. And co-sponsored by DTI Home Automation, Annapolis Lighting. Unleash the power of mesmerizing architectural light by Apollos.
Thank you so much, Asif, for joining me today. Now, but today I'm really looking forward to our conversation because एक तो आप एक बहुत young architecture है, आपके पास global exposure भी है, and you do a lot of turnkey projects and in all areas. So tell me a little about as to ये turnkey projects से ही आपने start किया या that initially you started off with working under somebody? How did this journey start of architecture?
Okay. So basically, first things first, I would like to give a little bit of background.
Of course, absolutely. We'd love to know that.
So, my dad was a civil engineer. He had done his engineering from what is known as MNIT right now, in Jaipur.
Right.
And then after that, he had an extensive experience. He worked in India. He worked abroad in Kuwait.
Really?
In Kuwait, he was working for the Ministry of Public Authority and Welfare Housing. And
so he was working with the government.
He was working with the government on very large-scale projects like mini Olympic Village and
of course.
That level of projects. And he was like heading the structural department there complete. So, since beginning, like when I completed my studies and I was in that phase ki, अब क्या किया जाए, मतलब आगे मास्टर्स करूंगा या फिर बिजनेस करूंगा. एक जगह वो यंग रहते हैं उस टाइम काफी, तो एक रहता है यार अभी छापना करना स्टार्ट कर देना चाहिए. You should start getting into practice.
Correct.
Then I also had this thought कि नहीं, I mean I will do my practical experience first before gaining further theoretical knowledge. और उसी की phase में करते करते मतलब like after my graduation I worked in Kuwait for a while.
Achha, okay. Yeah, so you followed your father's footsteps. Kind of.
Yeah, no? I did. I had gone to Dubai also. I worked there also. But I had some medical issues, so I had to come back. And then I worked in Kuwait. So it was a very prestigious project, Sheikh Abdul Salim Cultural Center. It's a huge.
I guess when it comes to Dubai and all that, most constructions are massive.
They are massive, and this one is particularly it's a huge
cultural
project.
Center, so yes.
It was a huge project. So I was there, and basically there I got to learn the basics and the aspects of this thing. This whole field, and I always had this knack of like basically designing. I really liked sketching.
And then you've seen your dad also doing.
My dad also doing all this. Okay, I mean doing high rises and all. So I took that inspiration, and I always had this thing: I have to start my business here. I have to start my business. I have to do my own thing. So that
and
is.
You were in UK also. Have you done a certain amount of education in UK as well?
Yeah.
So did you work in UK?
I completed my graduation, and I had a small period where I had to you could say kind of an internship.
Okay.
Then that I chose to do it in Middle East. I did my
so that was the next
then it changed into a full-time job. I worked there also for a while, for 1 year before coming down here.
Correct.
So since when I started here, I started alone under my name. It was my firm's name was Hitawala Consultancy and Building Solutions. So what I studied around here was so I had this background, engineering background. At the same time, I have my passion in architecture and designing.
Right.
So I was like, why not bring these two things together and kind of elaborate the services which are being provided here.
Right.
Or anywhere else.
So it's like a one-stop shop for a person, na?
Yeah.
So everything is catered for.
Even my firm where I was practicing alone, that also started with the same concept of like having a one-stop consultancy solution.
Yeah.
Of course,
it has its own challenges, of course.
Yes, it does. It's a lot of challenges because rather than just focusing, being the one in the one focus at a time, you have to cover up all the topics.
Correct.
आपको सारा सब मतलब
बट एक एडवांटेज भी मिलता है क्योंकि फिर आप ही ने स्ट्रक्चरल डिजाइनिंग करी और आप ही आर्किटेक्चर करे तो आपको बहुत एडवांटेज,
क्लाइंट को एडवांटेज मिलता है, हमें भी एडवांटेज मिलता है इन द सेंस कि ठीक है मुझे ये पता है मेरे कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर है.
करेक्ट. या
मैं
आपको पता है ये बिल्डिंग ये ले सकती है कि नहीं, यू नो इट कैन टेक इन द डिजाइन और नॉट.
बिल्कुल. तो ये एक चीज बहुत रहती है. तो मतलब तो हितावाला कंसल्टेंसी से ही मतलब वो वन स्टॉप सॉल्यूशन रहा है. और अभी जो आर्किस्ट्रक इंक है जो अभी माय करंट फर्म, we followed that whole design, whole idea and the concept behind that. So me and my partner Parvesh, which I'll talk about in this, so we follow all these practices turnkey, from architecture, structural, MEP, 3Ds, interiors, name it, we do it. And everything is in-house, so that is.
So because you're also into structural designing और आप आर्किटेक्चर डिजाइनिंग की सर्विसेज भी प्रोवाइड करते हैं, डज इट रियली हेल्प यू कि एक डिजाइन को क्रिएटिव, सस्टेनेबल और फंक्शनल बनाने में डोंट यू थिंक एक एडवांटेज हो जाता है आपके लिए?
Yeah, definitely.
And for you rather it's for the client, right?
Yeah. See, sustainability is something which should be followed, like, and it should be an oath of any person who is into this line,
into the architecture field,
into this field, into architecture, be it architecture, civil engineering, structural, construction, everything.
Correct.
Because it is the need of the hour.
Absolutely.
We need to realize how badly we are depleting natural resources and how we are messing up with the environment.
Correct, absolutely.
So first thing is that when the client comes to us, we explain them very clearly that sustainability is a must. I'm going to introduce in your project, whether you see now we have reached that stage where we can say if someone is just pushing us to get some not adopt this thing. We take Italian also. I mean, see, in the end, like
an example कि उतना कार्बन फुटप्रिंट को रिड्यूस करने के लिए आप सस्टेनेबिलिटी पे वर्क करते हो.
We propose them. Look for Indian stones. There are beautiful Indian stones in the market. You just need to appreciate what you have.
Correct.
Which we don't do generally.
Yeah, naturally, we are not grateful at all.
So we are not good. So doing architectural and structural design, and then all the other services followed by that. We do provide MEP, which is mechanical, electrical, plumbing. We do provide even 3Ds, elevations, landscaping, interiors as well.
Okay.
So we have dedicated teams for all these segments, and everything is in-house.
Okay.
So first principle, like right from the architectural layout, is we need to have maximum light optimization, maximum cross ventilation.
Correct.
A lot of because this brings good vibes to the place, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it is all about like matching the right vibe. If the client matches the vibe of the place, they're going to love it, they're going to live in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or
they'll be spending so much time in that place.
So much time in there, whether be it commercial or residential. So I follow the first sketch which I do that has all these inputs already included in that.
Okay.
And then comes the part to my partner who does the structural designing, and because again majority of this, it goes into structure, a lot of so we try to design it in such forms, in such sustainable forms, although here I would say the market is still yet to go there. I mean, they need to
they're not
we have
aware.
To sit and explain. Not the awareness is not there.
It's slightly missing. Okay,
slightly missing. So but we practice that. I mean, we bring that into our structural designers. We try to design it in a way or form where we reduce maximum carbon footprint. Or
correct,
like,
absolutely. And we also use a lot of natural lighting, local products.
Even the columns, how we can play with sustainable materials.
Right.
Even for bricks, let's say. So we kind of deploy new technologies, like whatever is new available in the market. We try to we push the client. I mean, this is something which we can do. I mean,
correct. So coming to this construction field, mein, there's a lot of technology that's being used, a lot of innovations coming in. Do clients accept it easily, या उनको वो traditional methods, वो tried tested methods से ज़्यादा उनको वो ज़्यादा interesting लगता है या acceptable लगता है?
अभी मैं कह सकता हूँ कि अभी जो मुझे recent में the clientele which I've been I've been working with or I've been getting, they are they respect what we have to share with them. At least I faced that initially that issue. अरे नहीं यार ये तो यही है traditional way में करेंगे हम तो.
bricks ही चाहिए, ये cement bricks नहीं चाहिए, you know ऐसे.
उसके अलावा भी मतलब अब traditional bricks तो आ गई, so अब उसको कैसे play किया जाए कि उसकी laying process कैसे की जाए.
Correct.
क्योंकि there are different types of bonds in the frame. So उसी में one bond which I tried, it was a rat trap bond which has been followed a lot in south if you see that. So it is basically laying out of the brick in a manner that it creates pockets, air pockets between them, like you know open voids basically. So those voids they work as like natural insulation. मतलब you do not need to provide. I mean, if you do, I mean, it is a better practice if you provide some insulation element in between. But if there's a budget and if they're just doing it, it's just the way of laying. So I did this one wall, and after the client was like, "Yaar, this is taking too much time. You just go with the traditional method." So it was very difficult for us to that time convince the client, which is now I feel it is much easier. Now we have come to a phase where we tell them, see, I mean, this is the way to do it. This is the right way to do it. And I think so. Earth is something which has not been given to us by our elders, or it's by our ancestors, or rather it is something which we are taking away from our future generation.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's so beautifully said कि हम आगे की generation के लिए शायद इतना कुछ छोड़ के नहीं जा रहे हैं.
हाँ, मतलब इस चीज को ऐसे प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए.
Correct.
कि ये तुम्हें विरासत में मिला नहीं है, तुम किसी की विरासत तुम ले रहे हो, अभी जो ले रहे हो. So it is the difference which you make right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
आप naturally ये एक need है. Housing is a need.
Correct.
If you're working, then commercial spaces are a need, schools are a need, hospitals are a need. And to make these structures or buildings, we know that we are going to take something from the mother earth. We are going to harm in one way or the other.
Absolutely, right.
So the best way to work about this is being sustainable as you can in design, be it I would say architectural, the placements, keep spaces like well ventilated, keep spaces like which brings in a lot of natural lights.
Correct.
Be it in structure, design it in such a way that we optimize most of the resources which are available and designing with them. Even in terms of exteriors and interiors. So what we do is even our for us the exterior architecture, we just do not just try and focus on making it very lavish, luxuries, this, that.
Yeah, which is currently the trend.
I mean, yeah.
The louder, the better.
Louder, the better. But in that, which we forget is like there are ways of doing things which connects you to the environment as well. Plus, there are ways of doing things with locally available materials.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which does not push the client's budget also.
Yeah.
Plus, see, I mean, if you're doing this architecture, if you're making a design, you have to know how to play with things which are being given or provided.
Yes, right.
There are some cases which need those necessaries and those luxuries, but that can also be played out in a manner that the ultimate results deviates towards sustainability. Right.
So I guess probably your organization works a lot as in you provide a lot of sustainability, right?
We try to.
We push people. Yeah, I guess it's something that you can only try to put it into practice because आपका customer driven है, तो depends on how ready the customer is also.
Yes, I mean. What I see is like मतलब ये ऐसी चीज़ है जिसको अब एक स्टैंडर्ड बना देना चाहिए इवन राइट फ्रॉम द बिगनिंग. हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम से ही हमें मतलब वो चीज़ एक ठीक है जो जनरेशन जो चीज़
कंस्ट्रक्शन में आई थिंक सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज द वे ऑफ लाइफ राइट नाउ. आई डोंट थिंक कि कोई सारा बर्डन सिर्फ कंस्ट्रक्शन पे है.
हाँ
the way anything is manufactured वो भी तो sustainable होना चाहिए.
वो भी सस्टेनेबल होना चाहिए. आपकी
आप कैसे रॉ मटेरियल प्रोक्योर कर रहे हो, आप क्या खाना खा रहे हो, वो भी बहुत मैटर करता है. राइट.
तो इट काइंड ऑफ कनेक्ट्स विद एवरीथिंग. बट हाँ, मेजरली व्हाई? बिकॉज एज वी से मोस्ट ऑफ वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट पॉल्यूटेंट्स in the world is from the construction.
Yeah.
From the construction.
And obviously the destruction that happens is a little more because जो raw material आ रहा है,
yes,
Mother Earth को destroy करके आ रहा है. Unfortunately,
yes,
that's how it goes, right?
So we as an architect, it's our responsibility to educate others, and we should like convince every of our clients or even people around us.
At least make them aware.
Make them aware. Spreading the awareness is the first step. Then being followed or not, I mean, we can always push for things, but we can try to get things done right. And I think so people now understand.
So you work in diverse sectors, starting from hospitality to institutions to residences. So I'm sure आपकी कोई एक project में तो expertise होगी.
Right.
And so tell me a little more about कौन से sectors में आपकी expertise है, and what sectors or what segments of designs you enjoy doing.
Okay. अभी फिलहाल basically our most of the projects which we have done, they have been residentials only.
Okay.
Although we have designed hospitality, we have designed some multi-stories as well.
Also commercial residences like
commercial residences.
Oh, super.
Multifunctional spaces as well, like commercial and residential mix. We have designed institutional building as well.
Correct.
So but I mean, doing all the houses and all, I mean, I have my expertise in designing residences and houses. I like
and you
to
like that
challenge
as
myself,
well? Correct.
In every phase, like be it a large residence or even a smaller space.
Yeah.
So we just don't act like this is okay, this itna square feet hoga to we will work into it, or itna hi area hoga.
हाँ, yeah, correct. Generally ये कभी-कभार एक challenge face करते हैं लोग. Architecture को तभी approach करते हैं जब उनका बड़ा scale का घर बन रहा होता है.
हमारे लिए तो everyone is welcome, and everyone is welcome in a way that like you understand what we are doing. Because we have designed our fee of our firm very transparently.
Okay.
I mean, our practice doesn't work like if the client is this, then we will ask him for that amount or that percentage, that commission. We have square feet based charges, and we have studied the market. We have studied, naturally we are in a business, so we have studied our competitors as well, who match to our who we
prices
feel,
are competitive enough.
and we have kept them very transparent.
Okay.
So if someone is, first of all, someone has to understand that you want to design your space, you have to consider us. Why? Because we are going to design it for you in such a way that you're gonna not just gonna enjoy that space or like have it built for yourself, but you're gonna also save on amount, a lot of money.
Which is generally a myth. People think कि architects करके तो project महंगा हो जाएगा,
ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा.
और बल्कि उल्टा होता है.
No, we have made this practice कि we design around the client's budget.
Okay, yeah.
And our fee structure and our designing structure is as such that we try to save them the amount, like if they are paying us some fee, we try to say at least twice of that in other terms, such as like, if we design it well enough, and if we give a proper structural design to it, there only the clients start saving good amount of money, because a big chunk of money.
Absolutely, yeah. Because कभी-कभार कुछ डिजाइन गलत हो जाती है, फिर तोड़ के कभी-कभार नहीं बनाते, तो वो आपके साथ एरर नहीं होगा.
तो हम क्या है कि उस मतलब हर स्पेस में मतलब we are comfortable to work in, but my particular aim or focus is I want to जिस तरीके से उदयपुर में भी high rises बन रहे हैं, there are a lot of residential buildings which are being constructed.
Correct.
So I want to create, I want to bring that part of the chapter of sustainability in there.
Yeah,
which we discussed previously.
Right, absolutely.
These buildings, these towers, these especially high risers, they need they need efficient designs here. I mean,
oh yes, absolutely correct.
Just pouring concrete is not the way to do things.
Right.
You need to give a lot of and even residential living lifestyle. Let's say in flats, in terms of flats, they need to be designed in such a way that each of the residents, rather than making like confined like boxes. I call them boxes.
Yeah,
like,
so true. Match boxes जैसा feeling
yeah,
आता है.
they are match boxes, windows, one window opening to the other guy, and
yeah.
it's like there's no
privacy there.
No privacy there, no open like ventilation channels there. So this is what I like to do if we get
the opportunity.
If we get the opportunity.
Right. So moving on to this, I'm sure आपकी कुछ signature styles होंगे जो हर एक architect के होते हैं कि हमें लगता है ये architect की design तो windows ज़्यादा use होगी. और this particular, how we associate certain architects with their signature styles. I know you're fairly young in the profession, but you're doing so well. आपकी क्या signature style है? That we look at it and we're like, yes, this could have been Asif.
Tricky question, but I don't see.
But still, is there a certain kind of design you think you resonate a lot with?
I like Scandinavian architecture.
Okay.
I like to bring some sort of
that into
touch
it. Right.
If I am allowed to. See, ultimately, I am going to design around my client.
Yeah, of course.
They have to love the space.
Oh,
it's not
absolutely.
about anyone else or the third person saying, or क्योंकि यहाँ पे रायचंद भी बहुत है, मतलब I'm so sorry to say that, but है, मतलब लोग आते हैं, लोगों को mind divert. I tell them like one thing: you design your space according to you. You have to live in that. You have to be happy.
Correct, absolutely.
And I will integrate everything which I can in terms of all the possibilities out there, or everything in my hand. Like every design power, technical aspect leave to me.
Correct.
But I'm going to do so. वो है तो, बट कहीं भी आप जैसे कहीं मेरी डिजाइन आएगी, ये आएगी, तो उसमें थोड़ा सा एक मिनिमलिज्म, स्कैंडिनेवियन टच.
So minimalistic is what you resonate with. Minimalism.
Yeah, minimalistic. थोड़ा सा I like brutalism as well, like brutalist buildings. थोड़ा सा I try to bring in like straight line or.
Correct.
And yeah, lots of windows.
Okay. Windows, obviously, again, part of sustainability, right? Natural ventilation.
Ventilation, cross ventilation.
Right. I'm sure आपने इतने सारे projects करे हैं, उसमें से कोई एक favorite होगा या challenging होगा? Generally the most challenging ones are your most favorite ones. So let me put it this way. A challenging yet your favorite project.
I would not tag anything as my favorite.
I
don't have a favoritism.
Yeah,
this thing.
Of course. I know it's tough.
Every space has its own challenge, has its own beauty, has its own story.
Yeah,
in fact,
absolutely correct.
So, and they all are beautiful to me. But one project which I recently did was the Grand Fateh. There's this hotel near Fateh Sagar. It is a
yes,
nice,
I think I've seen it. Yeah,
nice
it's
hotel.
yeah, pretty
small space, and very. I'm very much connected with that project because due to there are some factors and reasons. One was that that it was my first this hospitality project.
Okay.
Given the opportunity by the owner of them, and we have become a family through the whole process. It took some time. It took meanwhile, just that being the first project, I completed other hospitality projects also in that time. It took 3 years to 3 to 4 years.
That's a long time.
Because there was a COVID phase in between, and there were some other issues as well. So we had to comply by all of that, and we had to get things done. So why is that very close to me is, first thing, it was my last project working with my dad. Where I took his advice on something. I was stuck at a point. There was some structural issue, and I had to really sit, and I was just thinking how to do it, because we are making this rooftop pool, and like we have to, we do not have to mess up with the room heights. So we didn't want to make any duct or something as such. So that was a structural challenge. And my dad being an expert, I took his advice in that, and he had given that design. The owner also knows that.
Okay.
So that was the very last of the last conversation which I.
Yeah, especially professionally. I know
that
you mentioned that. Yeah, that's so sweet.
So that
there's a lot of emotional connection with that.
That was a lot of emotional connection, and after that phase, nearing the completion. Is where at that project, I met my partner Parvesh, and we went there, and that was the first project which we worked on together.
Okay.
Another, there was a structural challenge in the rooftop. So I had to discuss, like, like that time Parvesh me, we had just starting to associate with each other. He was he had his own practice, I had my own practice.
So that was a culmination of the two of you with that project.
Yeah, with that project.
So many emotional connections.
So these two things are very, and the owner himself, he's family. So all of these things, they make this project very special to me.
Right.
And it is the view also. I mean, that side of Fateh Sagar is being seen from that particular hotel only. So everything, the location, the people, and the memories. That's what they make this project kind of special to me. But all other projects are also, I mean,
of course.
They're
हर आर्किटेक्ट का एक ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट होता है. इनफैक्ट आई रिमेंबर आई वंस मेट एन आर्किटेक्ट हु टोल्ड मी दैट फॉर हिम टू डू अ वॉर मेमोरियल was a dream because my dad's from the forces and I know war memorials mean a lot. तो आपका कोई ऐसा ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट है जो आप करना चाहोगे, something that is associated with a cause or maybe it's the epitome of sustainability?
Yes, Archana, actually there is, I always I mean, see, Udaipur city is surrounded by beautiful hills.
Oh yes, it is.
A cliff house is something I would really like to do.
Oh yeah, sounds interesting.
I would
can
like
picture one.
Yeah, I really feel like, if given without destroying the environment, the topography of that space,
तभी वो cliff house होगा.
तभी वो एक सही से cliff house होगा. Like, utilizing the beauty of that.
Correct.
If it comes into it, so it's a hypothetical till now.
No, I'm sure.
But sometime, maybe in
dreams
future,
do come true.
Dreams do come true. So this is something I would like to do: a cliff house with nice rammed earth walls, like like very very open kind of open plan, as close to nature as it could be. Lots of greens.
Yeah, without destroying the basic landscape around it.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
So one cliff house I would like to do.
It's a part of your bucket list, na?
It's a part of my bucket list. Maybe here, maybe somewhere else.
Somewhere else, right? Because आपके बहुत सारे project you do it pan India and even at global level, right?
Yeah, we are licensed to practice in the structural practices in Australia as well now.
Oh wow, okay.
And,
so do you need a separate certification to practice as a structural engineer in countries abroad?
Yes, you need registrations with various bodies, and there are exams and interviews which you have to
clear.
So we are that thanks to my partner Parvesh. He's really into educational and he gets what he wants.
Okay.
So yes, we have gotten that also.
Yeah, that is also quite an achievement.
If I get to make that house somewhere, maybe internationally also.
I know. I really hope that comes true.
Yeah.
Asif, it's been such a pleasure, such a young architect that I've interacted with so much exposure, with so much knowledge. And the beauty is, I think it's the young architects who need to start promoting sustainability because that's the way ahead. जो senior है वो तो कर ही रहे हैं, but अगर वो young architects promote करेंगे sustainability, तो I think इसका जो वो impact है वो 5-6 साल में बहुत अच्छा दिखेगा.
बहुत बिल्कुल, क्योंकि those
everything begins with the younger generation, right?
Those who are already nailing it, they are doing it very very well.
Correct.
And I really respect the way some names they have been working here. I really like the way of style, the way they have been working. And the coming generation, the new generation, they have to see what they're standing up against.
Correct.
They have to. Rather than I say, but even I inspire with everything around me. I mean, I take inspiration from everything.
Absolutely.
Even the people, I don't be like, okay, it's from the same lines, the same thing.
There's so much to learn from everybody.
Everything's to. I find learning in everything. So they need to learn the ways. They need to learn the histories of. Like, if they're practicing somewhere, if they're designing, they need to learn the history of the space.
Correct, absolutely.
And even historically, there have been a lot of structures which have been like
still
really
surviving.
Absolutely. And really well. So they need to learn from that, and they need to kind of merge their energy, merge their ideas, and it has to be new.
Rightly.
Keep trying new.
I guess you got to be flexible enough and yet be very innovative enough.
Yes.
In your practice.
And one has to know, like, you know, keep your this thing foundation strong. If you have your foundations very clear and strong, I think so you can achieve really greatness. So this is what comes to the generation which have been doing this, rather than just, you know, following the herd.
Absolutely. Rat race ka part mat bano. Do something different.
Do something
and I
creative.
Guess,
Do something of your own.
Correct. Innovative.
Yeah, innovative.
Right. Once again, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I loved every bit of the conversation. कितना कुछ आज जानने को मिला. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Archana ji, for having me here. It was a pleasure being with you guys.
This episode is brought to you by Treasure by Palkasa, Rajasthan's first ever biggest imported furniture showroom in Udaipur. One-stop solution for your home furniture. And co-sponsored by DTI Home Automation and Apollos Lighting. Unleash the power of mesmerizing architectural lights by Apollos.